Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon. I can't really see the clock very well from here, but it's so good to see you. Welcome to week 12 of child psychology. Here we go again, and we're finishing up this next to the last unit on children in the school age. Really trying to squeeze a lot in this week with chapter 13. But we're having a good time, I think. Well, I'm having a great time. It's been so good to get to know you. And I wish I could see your faces as well as you could see my face. But we had some really great discussion. Last week, I had you read that article on rewards and punishments and really think about that. So many wonderful answers, so much really good insight. It's so easy to see rewards and punishments all around us, and even to assume that that's the primary motivation for pretty much anything. It's really easy to access that information of what is our expectation of what is the consequence of what we're doing. What is our expectation? That isn't very far from the mind of anyone in just making decisions. So certainly we raise children the same way. Thank you all for sharing your own experiences and the experiences you might have observed in other classrooms, the experiences you might have had with your own children. All of those are very wonderful, valid points that you make. I'll just point out 4 people in particular. Michelle, I really like how you said that one of the consequences of this business of rewards and punishments might be that children would develop a real sense of shame and how they lose the focus of what they're really supposed to be learning. I think Katana, you also said something like that. Speaking of how children might get the idea that the wrong reason for what they're supposed to learn. Naibi, you said something really good about being confusing to a child, and how rewards are often just a shortcut to learning, and even though they work, it's a shortcut. So it's not they're not necessarily done with an idea for a long-term goal of learning in children, and that can be confusing to them. Of course, I think another thing that was mentioned in a lot of you, by a lot of you, excuse me, and especially with Elizabeth, what you were talking about, really that sense of entitlement that children get, that they're entitled to being rewarded if they put forth any effort. You got to remember, looking back on units in the past, how we see how children want to learn things. They're curious to learn and develop. So we need to remember that and not forget it, that there is that sense of desire to learn and to grow. And if we make learning really all about a sense of entitlement, they're going to lose that. And that would not be a good thing. So this week, as we're talking again about socio-emotional development, we're going to continue to analyze, the development of the self, the development of emotional regulation, moral development, how we define ourselves in terms of identity and gender. We're going to look more at parent-child relationships, and as parents are sort of the manager of children's lives, their timing and all that kind of thing. But it really kind of boils down to more than anything else is each of us, when we're in that elementary school age, that is the time that we're really responsible for learning about ourselves, or what we're good at and what we're not good at, and what we need to work on harder in order to achieve. So this is the age which we're going to see that children really start to look at what other people are doing and compare themselves, and for whatever that matters. So it's in this chapter we'll also deal with the issues of bullying and friends and all that kind of thing. So be open to thinking and to discussing on those kinds of issues. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and enjoy chapter 13. Enjoy the wonderful weather outside, even though I think next weekend is supposed to snow again. But have a great week 12.